Hello, guys and boys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of the Fallen SMP podcast, brought to you by me, your host, DJ Blue. I'm back here with Yes Nobody,
Hello there.
Kay,
I'm not here.
and David.
What's up, man?
We brought David back because we didn't have a guest this week, and we're gonna just kind of cycle him in because I like having a good number of people here just to keep the conversation flowing slash not trip up that kind of thing. It just helps us keep a nice flow of conversation so that we can move into each topic. So anyway, the first topic we are going to always have is our week in review. So, actually, before I do that, guests will be chosen or asked. I can see a couple people in the chat. Just so you guys know, we live stream this every Tuesday, and we will post the video every Wednesday. So, just to let you guys know. Anyway, we will request guests slash I will reach out to guests, or yes, nobody will reach out to guests to be on the podcast. So, that's kind of just how we're going to do it for now. Anyway, so, how is your guys' week going, by the way?
Absolutely fantastic.
I would say 50-50 for me. It's been both. I mean, because my doggo, as you know, as some people know, my sister's dog, unfortunately, got very, very sick. About a couple days ago, he got just randomly super, super sick. So they took him into the vet. Then he came back and was having trouble breathing. And then I woke up the next day, and my dad's like, "Hey, he is the real sick." And I'm like, "What does that mean?" And found out he had passed away. Poor doggo. Lived a short life. He was only like 3 or 4. So my week was okay, and then I've been streaming every day, so it's been pretty fun. How about you, David?
I think I've just been vibing mainly, trying to deal with the whole corona thing. My school did get canceled, officially though, for the rest of the school year. My governor made the whole decree thing. So
wait, are you gonna have online school?
We will, but it's not we don't know exactly when it's gonna start yet. We just know that it will eventually happen.
Oh, okay, it makes sense. That's odd.
Yeah, but it's gonna be on a pass-fail system. So it's either you get, if you pass, then you get what's essentially 100% A, and if you fail, then you get what's essentially a 0% F. So that's gonna be really interesting to deal with.
That's what?
Yeah, no, it's really dumb. I don't understand, but that's what my district has so far decided. They might change it because a lot of people are being like, "This is the dumbest thing that I've heard."
Well, yeah, it's probably the easiest thing to do for them, but I don't what.
Yeah, I don't know why you would do it. It makes no logical sense.
I know. I'm confused. That's really
and if
weird.
John's confused, then that means that it's definitely confusing.
Well, it's just confusing in general. I mean, why would you do it in that super super random kind of layout?
Yeah, I agree.
You either pass or you pack your bags and you go home.
I mean, if you fail in these classes anyway, you're gonna have to go you can't you have to retake it anyway if you fail it. So it's still the same barrier number. It's 60% is the pass fail line, but basically you could have a D minus at 60.001, and all of a sudden you got that as essentially 100% A, or at least that's how it's seen on your grade point average. A lot of people are getting 4 points for this semester, and then if you don't, it's gonna really suck for you.
My classes just moved to online, and I've just been doing them online. Yeah, I know, right? The ASMR mode. Yeah, I had to. Whoever was sipping, you reminded me to drink water. So thank you.
No problem, man. No problem.
Yeah, just. I was like, that is
okay
one.
then.
I was like, that was one way to sip that water, dog. Yeah, I imagine a lot of people, even people watching, are just being affected by how school is going for them. Cause I don't it's funny, you would think maybe we would have a plan for this in place if something like this were to happen. I mean, it is happening, so you'd think that they would set up a plan for this if it was ever to happen, and we would have to stay home for a month or two, but like,
Nope.
nope, just
It's just everything's canceled. Life is canceled. Come back next year.
yeah, that's actually pretty much true. Like, it's just pretty much like, oh, everything's canceled. Guess, like, come back, and it's like, what? It's like, we should have been way more prepared for this, in my opinion. But that's
You know what? They're not even saying come back. They're saying life's canceled. Bye. Bye.
Don't go outside, except for if you need to go to the Walmart.
A singular Walmart.
I
I'm
mean,
definitely in Walmart.
yeah. And like, even if you go in there, they have a 6 feet rule now, and like,
Yeah.
even though they've crowded everything together, so it's like almost impossible to stay 6 feet apart.
Okay, so what I
Yeah,
learned about
sure.
my local Walmart is apparently that there, it's like 700 people can be in the building at one time.
Yeah, it's I think it's 500 for ours.
I think what they did, my theory is, and my dad's theory
We don't
as
go to
well, is
Walmart.
that, well, we're gonna start ordering our groceries online. I've told my parents explicitly, I'm not, like, they're like, you might have to go pick up some groceries, and I told them explicitly, we have the ability to order online, or pick up the groceries using Walmart Plus. I will not be going outside, like, I will not chance it, like, especially now since, like, we just had our primaries, and more people got out and went to the primaries, so spread isn't gonna be good. But anyway, my point is, like, they must have, what they did is they must have took the square footage and divided it by 6, and then got their number that way for how many people they can, like, allow in the store.
Well, that actually brings up like an interesting question to me. Like, how do they like calculate these numbers? Because you know how you'll be like at a place and it'll say like the occupancy number, like for like stuff like that, like not an elevator, but just like in a place.
Yeah.
Like, how do they come up with those numbers? Like, no, like regularly.
Average weight of a person, I would imagine, right?
Well, no, because I'm talking about specifically not elevators, because like elevators
This is
obviously.
specific.
do
Oh,
based
you're
on-
talking about like capacity, like when you see those
Yeah,
signs,
yeah,
like when you
like
when you enter a subway
certain-
and it says only 20 people allowed in this subway.
Exactly. Yes.
It has to be like, yeah, I think that they must like measure it by square footage, no?
And just like figure out how big the average, and then add 50.
I wish we had like a contractor in chat or something who knew about this, but no, yeah, literally, yeah, that would have to be it. Because I don't know why, I don't know how else they come up with that number. Now I want to know. Hey Google, how did they decide a capacity of a building? Okay, there are 2 factors that determine the figure used for venue capacity. The maximum number of persons is designed to hold the number, width, and location of the available exits allowed occupants to escape to a place of safety after discounting the large exits. So it sounds like with capacity, they add in like how many exits, how big it is, that kind of thing with it. It just sounds like Walmart just said divide it by 6. That's how many people we can have in here. But there's never gonna be 700 people, even when it was busy, like even when everyone started freaking out and buying stuff and it was really, really busy, there was not over 100 people in there. So I don't know how they can put a limit of 700 people.
Well, the thing is also people are going out less and they're more like buying now. So I think that that's gonna definitely help because like, my mom, for instance, like I drove her to Fred Meyer the other day, and like I just stayed in the car, but it took her like forever to get not too many things because like everybody has to
Not
stand like
too
far
many.
apart. So essentially like the place is like packed
I really like how you put that, dude.
because like everybody has like a 3-foot individual bubble around them because
Yeah.
like the 3 feet clash and it makes sense. But like because of that, it seems far more packed than it would normally, you know?
Yeah,
But
but just think
I think
about
less
after
people overall.
Easter.
Hmm?
Easter's gonna kill us.
That's what I'm worried about. Okay, did you see all the people? Did you see all the people, the mega churches that are still having like people go to them? And the one lady who's like, "I will be fine. I have Jesus blood on me."
I don't understand.
If you have not watched it yet, look up Corona Karen, and literally she says like they ask her, they're like, you know, you could be infecting people or you could get it. She's like, well, You know, that doesn't matter to me.
I got
I'll be fine.
Jesus
I got
blood.
Jesus' blood on me, and I'm like, oh God. But I mean, like, yeah, I'm really worried about Easter because I imagine there will be still a lot of services held. I mean, in person. I know some people will probably be like, we're holding this one because it's Easter and we need to, and I just hope they don't. Okay.
I know that my church, we canceled like all of our things. About 50% of the members are like over the age of like 65, and so that's just a disaster waiting to happen. And luckily, my church,
Mm-hmm.
like, let's not literally kill half of the people who go here that we love. You know.
Yeah.
My mom's church I don't go to church, but my mom's church went to online, so she's just been watching like live streams.
Actually, yeah, no, I think that my pastor's doing.
Which, like, I wholeheartedly support. Like, that's the kind of stuff I'm like, yes. I mean, I may not, agree with them, but, like, with their, thinking, but I agree that, they should have the right to, like, they shouldn't be gathering, but I don't, I'm just trying to say I'm glad that pastors are doing that. Instead of, like, I need money, come to the church.
Yeah, I saw an H3H3 video about this, like, pastor who was like
idiots
flying,
of
like,
the
the
coronavirus.
jet. No, this was like a while ago. But like this guy, he was like this horrible guy who was just like
Is
he would
that
always like charity, but then like he had like a private jet that he would like fly all over the place.
is it
that,
the goblin looking
just-
dude?
I think he kind of did look like a guy.
Yeah, because that dude, yeah, like literally he goes around like has like he's worth like millions and millions of dollars. I love
Yeah.
these like preachers who are like wearing Gucci and stuff and like preaching the gospel, and it's like, okay.
And you just know that they're like they're full of it, you know.
Well, yeah, because I
And
feel
it's-
I don't know.
and it pisses me off.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like,
it makes
these
a
people
bad.
are like taking advantage.
Yeah,
They're
it
taking
ma-
advantage.
and it just gives a bad name to religion in general for
Mhm.
those kind of people to just be running around and doing that kind of stuff. Which sucks because there's a lot of decent religious people who like, aren't like out there for money or trying to collect money from people.
Mm-hmm. Definitely makes me a bit sad.
Big sad.
A big,
I'm-
big.
Anyway, we'll move on to the next topic here. So the next topic here, after all that very
Sorry, I very much pulled this off track.
no, it was a good topic. It's just we went through a lot of landmines there, where a lot of people have opinions about those topics. So it's like, ooh. But I don't mind. I'm always fine. I'm always fine talking about those topics and like, the different things.
He's never fine talking about those things.
I know someone's
How
gonna
dare
mention
you.
this in the comments of the video or something. Yeah, I forgot to remove the DJ Blue lettering on the bottom, but I figured it out now and I
What an
removed it. So
idiot.
I know, right? He should be
Yeah, what the
fired.
hell?
Yes, nobody for owner. Anyway,
No, thank you.
yes, nobody doesn't want the stress.
Correct.
Okay.
That took you so long.
Oh,
to
this
answer.
is gonna be all my.
You were thinking about it, you're
I'm gonna put all my wood items here. So here we go. Zach likes to call you yes and nitty, by the way.
Bruh.
So there's been
Relax,
some
Zach.
quite a bit of news happening on the server, and there's another topic that's wrapped into that we're gonna touch on as well. So I know this week has been a very interesting week for the SMP as people get more active and as shopping district has expanded and all that good stuff. There's also 2 new series. So we don't have Alex here, but if you guys haven't watched, Alex is doing base showcases on the Fallen SMP channel. So if you're interested in those, you can always check them out. But I know David, you're working on a series right now as well.
Yeah. My series. Do you want me to talk about it? Or do you
Yeah,
want
of course. You can give them a little overview. Obviously, don't tell them every little detail because we want them to like go and watch the video, so we can get the views, and the money, because that's all I do.
Said
Fallen
that.
SMP
That's all
for.
we care about.
I love you.
The 1 cent that we get from the ad revenue. Yeah. Okay. So basically,
Give me the views!
Mine is also kind of a review. It's gonna be shop reviews essentially, and I'm planning on doing 2 people per episode, and I
Okay.
already interviewed both of those people today, which I'm not going to say who yet. You got to watch the video for that. And I basically like asked them about their shop, what their future plans are.
But
Their
they're two
shop.
well-established builders.
Yeah, I'd say so. And so I have an interview with them. I have like a cinematic shot that like goes over their shop and like anything to do with it, and
Yeah,
it just kind of goes over the shop.
speaking of the
Every slot.
cinematic, it is in beta right now, the new cinematic mod. So we and all of us are debating over what we want to do for the next story. I mean, eventually I'll figure out what I want to do, but we're working on another cinematic. That's all I'm gonna say for now. The next cinematic is in the works. I would think
Or is it?
That is, I would believe it would be. So, another big news topic is Pixelmon. Pixelmon and modded in general has been doing quite well. We got a few active people on all the mods 3, but I know Pixelmon had a pretty good beta.
Oh yeah, there was like a ton of people there, surprisingly, even though they all knew it was gonna reset. It's kind of whack. But I guess they all want them rare candies, because that's what you got for playing in the beta.
Oh yeah, I want them rare candies. That's why I played.
But you do?
Yeah, you get 5 rare candies. Whoever.
Which the real question is, do you save them for like higher leveling, since the higher level
That's
it
up
is,
to you.
the more it takes, or do you like go quickly, get like say level 10 and then just beat everything up?
I don't know.
Beat everything up, David.
It's
Go-
strategy,
go
you
for
know?
it.
Well, I mean, the higher your Pokemon is, like, the more higher level Pokemon spawn around you. So,
Yes, nobody. Are you eating your mic?
I am not eating my mic, but I can back up a little bit.
Alex would like to know, why is he eating his mic?
I'm not eating my mic.
It's just so scrumdiddlyumptious.
It's
No?
it's
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
just the new PC.
I mean, I can get really close.
New PC, new man. It's just how it works, you know?
So basically, what's happening with Pixelmon
Picklemon.
is it's going to be releasing this Sunday at 7 p.m. EST. Alright? Okay.
Praise
And
the Lord.
everyone who played the beta will get their 5 rare candies. And the tweaks and stuff that need to go on is, I'm pretty sure I need to add just a few new permissions, mostly to admins and mods. The player commands are pretty much normal. And then I need to tweak the legendary spawn chance, and that'll probably be tampered with during the season. So yeah, Pixelmon will launch, and the plan is to have a 2-month season of Pixelmon. So
Ooh.
Yahoo! And also wormholes and the end dimension and will be closed for like, I don't know, the first few weeks of it.
What do the wormholes even do?
They teleport you to another kind of dimension where you can find ultra beasts, and you can find like elytras and in-city loot, nether loot. There's just a bunch of stuff there, to be honest with you.
I don't think I've ever dealt with ultra beasts.
Well,
never
that's
touched
because you
Pixelmon.
probably never went through the wormhole. Anyway, you can only spawn it through the 2 Sun and Moon legendary Pokemon anyway, so... And also, Poke Towers are still be removed for anyone asking or wondering or whatever.
What's up with Poke Towers?
Basically, they have a spawner at the top that spawns a boss Pokemon, and when you defeat a boss Pokemon, you get rewards. And people in the last season, when Luigi roamed it, they farmed it to absolute death and got super OP really
okay.
fast. So I have decided to remove them. So they will not spawn at all, but
Probably
every
a good
other
choice.
structure will.
So you haven't had
Every
any
other
you haven't had
section.
any like major glitches or anything like that?
I have not had any major glitches, upsets, bugs, nothing besides the in-battle glitch, which is just a normal thing for Pixelmon. So it's whatever.
That's good. Keeps it, you know, nice and neat and away from getting glitches.
Oh yeah.
So
And then
oh, what's up?
after I guess the 2-month season, or like near the end, I guess Game and I will come up with the mod packs for the next season of modded.
Correct. Yeah. We'll
Damn,
we'll go
that's
on
really
like a month
crazy,
by
though.
month basis, kind of letting the members vote on what they want to want to do.
Oh yeah.
It'll also be a nice kind of like buffer for people who may be playing a lot of vanilla and want to do something like different.
Definitely.
Because I think a lot
I
of people
100%
get
agree.
wrapped up in the vanilla.
Yes, yes. Though vanilla's been popping recently though. Like sometimes it'll just explode out of nowhere.
Yeah, a lot
Like
of people.
10
It's
Yeah, a lot of
insane.
people will get on like 10. We've seen 17 at one time. It's the coronavirus, man. No one can go outside or do anything really. So they're all
Here we
like,
go back to coronavirus.
they're all just kind of chilling inside. Dude, low key.
I mean, honestly, what do you expect? Like, everything in everybody's lives right now is decided.
Yeah, it's pretty much on hold, I would say.
Life is on hold. Genuinely.
I
Sorry,
mean,
guys, come back next year.
Like my school, like we have online schooling, but we don't even have to do it. We aren't required to.
Wait.
And it doesn't penalty us if we don't.
Wait,
So
what?
yeah.
Are you doing it?
So wait, they'll just
No.
auto graduate you.
Yeah,
to the
pretty
next-
much.
Yeah, I mean
So
to
yes,
be real,
so
to be
yes,
real,
you
high school.
graduated
Yeah.
high school essentially.
To be real,
Yeah.
I mean, a high school level of education isn't as big as people think it is.
It's huge. What are you on?
Not really.
It gives you basic knowledge.
Well, basic knowledge, but like once you like, I feel like college teaches you a lot more. Like
it's
in
also-
the subjects.
also-
School,
Say-
school
okay,
teaches
well,
you punctuality and algebra. That's the only thing.
I'll
that's
say
the
this.
thing
I'll
right
say
now.
this.
That is a good
with-
point.
If we're talking about it versus college, college is obviously more valuable. Like it's 1,000 times more. But if we're talking about just in general, either do high school or don't do high school.
Well,
high
obviously,
school
obviously,
for 1,000
yeah,
reasons,
obviously
including the fact that-
graduate from high school. I'm just saying it's simply very, very
Yeah.
easy. Like
I
if
mean,
you
even
have,
if you don't graduate from high school, it's like you won't get a job otherwise. Nobody wants to hire a high school graduate.
what? That's
high
false.
school
I know a
dropout,
couple. I know a couple
Other-
people who dropped out
other-
of high school have decent jobs.
other than like rare cases or McDonald's. You know,
Well, I mean, they're working at like
you have
like
to like
old folks.
you have to like
home,
really
but-
prove your worth.
Yeah.
Otherwise, though, unless it's a job that doesn't really take like knowledge, it's more physical ability.
If you didn't go to
No,
if you didn't go to
obviously
high school, you're
graduates
worthless.
and doctors.
Bruh, just start a Twitch stream, XD.
The XD, Jesus.
Just learn from Twitch.
I'm being serious.
You'll come out with your diploma being like Kappa YML.
I don't know these Twitch lingos.
That wasn't even a Twitch lingo. I just made it off off
I
my
don't
head.
know
I don't-
anything.
Twitch
Big
chat.
stupido.
Twitch chat. I'm fine with like people on Twitch like and in like Twitch chat saying it, but if I hear it outside of Twitch, it's so cringy. Like anytime anyone says Monka S, I'm like, oh god, stop. Just sounds very, very cringy to use as like a term. But I mean, in Twitch, like the community, when I hear in the community, it's fine. But I always cringe when I hear it outside of the community. It's just not.
Monka S.
Yeah, Monka S. I think it's just like means like yikes. Which now it's yikes. I don't ever hear that anymore. I usually hear that's a yikes from me, dude.
That's what yes nobody used to all. I
Yikes.
remember this man saying that's a yikes from.
Yikes.
Big yikes.
That's a yikes from
Gotta
me.
put the booties away, boys and girls.
No.
What?
The booties, the boots. I gotta put the boots away.
Yeah, boots are also called booties.
Oh, I
I
mean,
will not
yeah.
put my booties away.
Do you not put your items away in chests?
No, I put them away in barrels.
Oh,
Oh, you're
I
one
just
of
used
those.
double chests.
I have a whole wall in my like me
I'm
and
a-
Kay's house, literally just made out of barrels. It's like a good wall design. Not gonna lie.
Remember,
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
remember last season when we couldn't core protect shulkers?
Or barrels. Yeah.
Yeah, that was painful. Not anymore though. For you people who are watching, you will get caught. We will find you.
And John will indeed kill you.
I'm sure yes, no one will fray you, but that's okay.
It'll be a throwdown.
In the
It
parking
will.
lot. In the parking lot.
Yeah.
Denny's parking lot.
He's about to throw hands.
Did you just say Debbie's or Denny's?
Denny's.
I've been to Denny's. Their portion sizes are massive.
That's why you find the park. Afterward, you just go in and get some food. Heal up.
Perkins or Denny's?
I've never heard of Perkins.
Parkinson's is something different.
Oh, Perkins?
Yeah,
Perkins or Perkins? Perkins, I love
Perkins.
Perkins. There's a Perkins in the town where my brother used to go to college, and I swear to God, they have the best pastries on the planet. The best.
They have
Their
the best.
burgers.
Trust
Their
me,
burgers
David
also
knows
really
pastries.
No, you gotta taste the actually.
Sorry, I was doing a Trump impression, but I know
No, but, like-
pastries.
Like they are so good.
Yeah, but you can't go anywhere. Right? You can't get anything right now. I know, dude. I'm like, dude, I really want some Burger King. I really want some like sushi, but then I have to remember, oh yeah, I can't step outside my door, or I might or I might die, or someone else in my house might die.
I was outside a bunch today, but like in my yard.
That's good, actually.
It was like 70 out today, and I was like, oh my god, it's beautiful out.
Yeah, the weather's been actually really, really good around here. It's 19 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that means in Fahrenheit, but I go by Celsius.
It's what degrees Celsius?
19.
I think that's like 60 something, isn't it?
Yeah, so, well, that was earlier today. So earlier today it got in the 60s or 70s, probably. Yeah, like, the reason I use Celsius is literally because it's, 0 means freezing, 100 means boiling. Let's go.
I've never heard someone in my life get so excited over Celsius and Fahrenheit.
Well, I mean, otherwise it's like, is it boiling? What is boiling temperature? Oh, boiling temperature is like 141, but maybe it's 100. 100 sounds right because 100 is like 100%, right? It just confuses my mind, so I got rid of the middleman, and now I just use Celsius.
So, you're with the rest of the world, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
You live in America, so that's not really gonna work out.
Well,
to you.
America, our like metric system and our like Fahrenheit system is like
I
garbage.
don't know why we choose to be so different. Jeez.
Because
No,
we're
being quirky-
America.
No, being quirky is not everything. Jeez.
Hey, you're quirky.
You don't need to be quirky all the time. Just be normal.
you're quirky.
I'm not quirky. I'm just dumb.
Don't be quirky. # be normal. It's just odd. So our next topic will be a very interesting one, and I'm sure you guys in the chat will enjoy this topic and have an opinion on it. Ghosts. Have you guys had any paranormal experiences in
Yes.
your life?
Ghosts are not real.
I am with David.
I
on
can
this
fight
one.
you. I will. No, I will fight
No,
both
okay,
of you.
let me explain my point of view. Because, okay, I'll say this. If ghosts were real, if ghosts happened to be real,
Booga booga.
then that would prove the existence of a higher state of mind. Like a true consciousness that is outside of our control, like outside of our body, right? And if that happened...
Well, that would be a whole nother
then
plane at that point.
That would be
of
a whole different
existence.
conversation. A whole different conversation, you know? So...
David's not ready to experience the...
I'm not ready to
the
experience
next,
that,
the
you know?
next plane until he dies and becomes a ghost.
Yeah. But no, okay, like, the problem is that, basically...
You guys believe
if-
in aliens, though, right?
There might be aliens. We don't have proof that there is.
I believe in like...
Oh,
yeah.
aliens. Wow.
I believe, well, the universe is really expansive, so it's really improbable that, like, we don't have other, like, life existence in the universe. What that looks like and what that is, I can't say, but, you know, we've definitely, like, it's very, very improbable to be like, oh, other life, isn't out there at, somewhere. Especially when we're talking about, like, millions and billions and trillions of square space of just galaxies and planets. So think about it, there could be another David somewhere in the world or another
There
Ken.
could be.
I'm gonna go crazy.
My-
Let's get back on ghosts. I'm gonna go crazy.
No, okay, the thing with ghosts is that if there's ghosts, that means that they are literally just a soul
That is
floating
true.
around, not with a body or anything. Like,
there's no way to prove they exist, therefore they do not.
Well, see, my thing is a lot
Nobody.
of people's experience with that kind of stuff is very, very anecdotal and very, very personal, and we can't repeat it. And what I've learned, actually, from my own experiences is the brain is really, really powerful. So we can manifest things. One thing I remember one thing I always compare is, like, when I was young, about 5 or 6, we lived in this old house that, had stairs that would go down. Then you were at the front door, and then another stairs that would go down to the basement. And I went down those stairs looking for my mom. And I saw my mom come out of, like, the darkness of the basement, like, the basement living room. And I was like, oh, Mom. And she was wearing her, like, red robe, and she looked tired. And I ran up to her, and as soon as I ran up to her, she disappeared. So the brain is very, very powerful in what it does. And I think some of those experiences could be contributed to that. But I would like to hear Kay's paranormal experiences. Like, every night, low-key, the way I go to sleep is I scroll down. I go to Mortis Media's channel. I look for either ghost stories or deep in the wood horror stories, and I turn those on, and I fall asleep. So I like a good ghost story.
That's crazy. You're crazy.
Okay. I have a few of them, okay?
I'm
I have a few.
excited.
I'll keep it short, though. I'll just keep it really small, okay? So,
No, take your time. It's
also,
nap time.
David, if you do not believe in ghosts, I would like to hear in your free time how you can explain these then, okay? That's my question for you. Drugs. No, okay, so I think one of the biggest ones, right, is I was getting ready for bed one night and in one of my old houses. It was a small town, but in one of my old houses, siblings were at their dad's house.
You just cut out for a second. Can you repeat that? Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just gonna yeet off the server really quick so I can explain this. Okay, it's gonna be a bit confusing. Anyway, so all my siblings were at their dad's house. My little sister was upstairs, so it was just me and my little sister home, and my parents were upstairs, right? I was the only one who slept in the basement besides my other siblings, but they were all at their dad's house. Okay. At the time, we didn't have cats, or like our dog was never downstairs, but we didn't have cats at this point. So
I'm sorry. I'm like, the dog's not downstairs because he can sense the ghost. Anyway, sorry. I'll stop.
But
go ahead.
It's occasionally, and my parents would be like, "Okay, well, it's just mice." I'm like, okay, yeah, that's okay. I understand. You know, mice are in basements. I've seen mice. I saw salamanders, lizards. I saw centipedes, spiders, the whole shebang. Okay, like there was even a gardener snake down there. So.
What the hell?
But yeah, but it was like it was a comfy basement. There was a lot of like open spots in the walls, so it was common to see stuff like that. That's why I'm not really afraid of too. Anyway, so I was getting ready for bed, and being afraid of the dark like I still am, I decided to put my blanket over my head, right?
Good choice.
And I had been like just sitting there. I don't know, maybe a few minutes, because I used to have really bad like nightmares. Would like stay awake for like hours every night and just not want to go to bed. Okay. So I had been like just chilling in bed, and all of a sudden, like I legit felt like 2 hands grab my feet and pull me halfway off the bed. I ran upstairs and cried to my parents, and I had to check the entire basement. There was nothing there. Like there was nothing there at all. And so it was the weirdest experience.
And your siblings weren't home?
My siblings weren't home. They were at their dad's house, because every other week,
So it was
week.
literally only you and your parents.
Literally only me, my parents, and my little sister. My little sister was like really young at the time, so she was upstairs sleeping already.
But you were in bed?
Yeah, I was just chilling in bed.
So is it possible that this was like one of those times where like you're in bed and like you're about to fall asleep, but then you have like one of those falling sensations? Because I know that happens a lot.
I'm sorry, what? How
No,
does
have you never-
the falling sensation does not make you pull yourself? What?
But what if she just thought it?
All it does is like shake your body.
Or what if she like remembers it now more dramatically than it was? Because I know there are a lot of things from my childhood that
David is trying to rationalize.
I am trying to rationalize, because
Yeah,
it makes no logical sense that there would be ghosts.
Okay. Well, okay.
And
that's your
why would they
choice.
attack you?
Kay's like
what would the
preparing
point
with
be?
the next story. She's like, what about
Yeah.
this one?
I've got the
Already
next
read
story
the
ready.
list.
I've got the
Oh,
next
yeah.
story ready, okay? So when I was younger, I used to have like my whole family knows I've had a extreme history with like apparently like seeing stuff as a kid. I would like explain stuff to my parents, and everyone just thought, okay, like maybe she just has a big imagination. But there's a lot of weird conspiracy stuff in my family with like dying and deaths, right? For example, right, when my great grandpa died, when my great aunt died, and when my best friend died, right? I was the last person to see all those three. The very last person. Like I was either out of the room last, or I said goodbye last, and with my other friend, I was the last one to have a conversation with him.
Oh,
Right?
I've had that experience.
Yep, and
It's not fun.
my chicken died. One of my chickens died. I was the last one to see her, right? So it was like it's a lot of conspiracy theories. My dad got me like this thing of tarot cards or whatever, and apparently like one of his uncle died or whatever. Like he pulled a death card and like he died or whatever. Like a few days later, I don't know. He told me something like that. Like happened like a few times. But so there's just a lot of weird stuff. Like I lived in a weird house that had like a really weird occurrences, and my great aunt, she told me a story about how she like lived in a haunted house or whatever, and sort of my piano teacher. So I was just a lot of surrounded by ghosts everywhere. But when I was younger, I used to tell my family that I could like see people, and I remember their faces really distinctively. Okay, and you know I was prone to imagination. I will say that. But my aunt, she caught me in the closet one time talking to a man, but she actually couldn't see the man. Apparently, I was just describing him or whatever, and it was like on her steps as well. My cousin's mom was up the steps trying to go to the bathroom or whatever. I was chilling on the stairs talking to the same man or whatever, and a man had died in that house like a year before she moved in.
And
But
he
the same man
looked
I described or
just
whatever.
like.
Well, see,
Yeah, I kid you not. It was like I still remember the face.
Okay, I don't think that you're lying. I just think that you remember.
I think a lot of that. Okay, so my take on this, the way I kind of rationalize it or explain it is like, the way I think about it is like, we notice a lot of coincidences. So when you think of like, oh, JFK, and when you notice like JFK
I know what you're saying.
and Lincoln, you'd notice a lot of coincidences and similarities with when they died, how they died, and like, the dates. And we as human beings have been evolutionarily made to notice those coincidences. So when we feel like a bunch of things lining up, it can add to that effect. The other thing I would also say is like I wonder, we don't do enough studies, we don't know the brain well, but I wonder when kids are developing and the chemicals are like kind of getting produced, if some of people overproduce some of those natural like psychedelic chemicals and can get those produced and actually like kind of have like a full
You had me in the
experience.
first half, not gonna lie.
Well,
But
no, because
the second
like,
half you started going off the rails a little bit there,
no,
John.
well, I'm
Because
saying
that's just full speculation.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I would speculate to explain some of those things, is because like we do have those natural chemicals in our brain. I wonder, like, for example, my experience with my mom, she's obviously not dead, she's well alive, but like I wonder
I
if
think
like
people see themselves as the center of attention too. I'm not trying to is like self-centered or anything. I think Kay is very.
I wonder if we have like hallucinations when we're young because we're like, getting new chemicals in our brain and stuff.
Your brain is like very active. That's one of the reasons why you have such a strong imagination. And why like if you've ever tried to like play a game of like a sword fight game, sticks, when you're like a teenager, you'll notice that you just don't have the same fun you used to because you can't really get into it as much.
One thing I also wonder is if because of evolutionary and stuff, I wonder if we can like notice a bunch of coincidences without noticing them. So for example, like the night before my dog, the day before the dog was like sick, he was away. Before he came home that day, my mom's like, oh, I had a dream that he ran up to my bed and he was like, and he was like, blah, 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 and he, I saw him, and I wonder if that's like a wave. I wonder if we can notice when things like that are about to happen, because a lot of people have those experiences where like I had a dream.
Happens to my mom.
I had a dream where like someone came to me, and then at the end of the dream, like the next day or like the next week after, they die. And I wonder if we can like have those kind of things like those little like just subconscious things that we've developed over time that we don't think about, that that add into our brain, and our brain kind of knows and like prepares us for it or something. It'd be
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
my mom had like a dream like that last night, and one of our chickens died today. So
I
like,
think
it was like one of those dreams like that.
Yeah, I just feel like I think there's a lot. I think some people attribute it to like, oh, we can't explain it, but I think it's a lot of those like little things that like we needed those like little coincidences and little things, and to feel these things to know not to go into that bush. Because if I had like, for example, maybe subconsciously my like senses know that like there's a predator in like near the area, but maybe me as myself and my like brain doesn't know that, so I have a dream about that like forest, and then I come back to it, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't go here. Obviously, I'm just speculating. Ghosts could 100% be real, and I could be like full of crap. But I just
here's
don't
what I think.
know for sure.
I think that when we have these like experiences and then we try and like relate them back to like a dream or something, I think that's just like the human predisposition to like relate ourselves to the world, because like a lot of people say that like the reasoning behind a lot of religions and like trying to believe in a god is like that you want like either a higher sense of purpose, or that like you want more like you want a reason for why you're like in this world and all that. And I think that a lot of the times when we have these things where like it's a coincidence, or
Mhm.
like you're thinking like, oh, what are the chances of this? This is impossible, you know? Like this has to mean this. Like I think that's really just us trying to like
Oh yeah,
explain
like
it away.
for the
Like our brain's natural predisposition
for
to do that. And
example,
like
like
a good way to show this
sorry,
is like split brain patients, people who have like the both hemispheres of their brain split. A lot of the times we'll see like the sides will disagree with each other. And that's really spooky, and it kind of show, and like sometimes they have like experiments where like say it'll show one side of the brain, hey, pick up this thing and hand it to your other hand. And then once it does that, it'll ask that other side why you're holding that, and then that side will literally lie, just making an explanation for why they have it. And I think that that's sometimes what our brains do, because
creepy.
Oh, you mean like fill in the gaps?
because they don't want to feel like they're out of the loop, like they can't, you know?
Yeah, I think not understanding is a really like it's a hard thing to have for a lot of people.
I mean, personally, I believe in ghosts. Okay, or spirits, or
we haven't even heard from you
paranormal,
yet.
or like
That's
whatever
right. Yes,
you want to
nobody's been
call
like
it.
silently sitting here the whole time waiting to
That's
like drop
super
facts.
interesting. I've heard a bit about it. It's actually really
everything
interesting.
we said.
No, I mean, I will say that like I definitely can acknowledge like your brain will play tricks on you. Like for instance, if you've ever heard like your name and no one's like called it,
Oh yeah.
like that's 100% whack, and you're like, what? But
Yeah.
I think our brain. I think people don't realize our brains are even more powerful than that, because literally, there's this story that I always remember, to like of how powerful the brain is. This woman on Oprah, because my mom used to watch Oprah a lot when I was younger. She went into her bathroom and saw like half the side of her face without skin.
Stuff like that is just creepy. Like, our brain is like cool but disturbing as heck.
I mean,
Like-
people have theories of to why like those kind of like translutions happen, and it kind of makes sense to me because of the chemical. But yeah, we'll talk about it more off the podcast.
I mean, like, I don't know, David. Okay, since you like to rationalize this, okay, and John is just having the opinion of, I may be wrong,
Yeah,
but this is my thing.
I'm more on the change of it may be wrong, but I'm always open to new evidence appearing and like proving
Thank
me
you so
wrong.
much.
Yeah, so, like, some things I don't know how you would explain, such as, like, all the, like movements, like in random objects
Pick one.
and whatnot, like things being thrown at other people and such. Like, how would you explain that?
Huh.
Like, like a wind,
I went to go get
can't pick
water
up, like wind can't pick up a brick and then throw it at someone.
Yo, what the fuck?
I would have to see it on video, because again, people can like be misremembering their experiences / other things can be
Well,
happening.
I mean, this isn't my experience. To be completely honest, I haven't had too many like super weird experiences. Like
me either.
I think the only really creepy thing that I've had happen to me is I'll be upstairs in my room like right now. Then I'll leave the light on because I'm gonna come right back up.
Yeah.
And then I go downstairs and it's just like for a minute, no one else is home. It's just me, and all of a sudden my light will be off. I mean, like, granted, that could be like an electricity problem, but then
Yeah, it
you
sounds
know,
like
why-
Do you have lights
Like-
that automatically
No.
turn off after a certain amount of time?
no,
No, why would
no,
he be
but-
telling this story if he did?
Like, yeah,
I don't know. Maybe like he didn't know that his installed it, or like his landlord installed it to like
Your
save
message
money.
got
no,
blocked?
no, no,
You never
like.
put a message in chat.
And the other
Got
thing is like my computer and stuff is like still on, and like other stuff is just still working with electricity, but it's just the light, or maybe it's the bathroom light or the kitchen light. It just turns off.
How old is your house?
I mean, I live in an apartment, but it's not that old. I have no idea how old.
I mean,
to
it
be
could.
fair.
Yeah. it could-
Apartments are
it
seem
could-
to be more likely to short circuit though, based on my personal experience.
Yeah, it could be. It could be cheap electrical work, especially in apartments. They like to cut corners, but it could also be like a ghost. I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
we would
like-
we would have to look at the electrical to be like 100% sure.
And there's also like footage. Now, granted, YouTube footage like ghost stuff can be obviously pretty easily faked, but for the ones that are believable, like there's videos of like granted the Kinect, like Xbox 360 Kinect sucks, okay, but it can still track movement pretty well, okay, and there's like
Decently
this
well.
drawer. Yeah, there's this drawer that just opens and it draws the Kinect can track like a body part,
Oh,
and
I,
so
have, no, I have,
it
I have an
tracks
explanation.
like the whole person.
But the thing is, if the Kinect can track a ghost, then why haven't we caught more ghosts?
That's yeah.
If
That,
it's that easy.
I have a perfectly logical explanation for that. Yes, nobody.
Because
Okay.
the Kinect is like the most, like, it's like such an old technology piece. I've had.
mean,
Invisible suit
techno-
from Harry Potter.
That's
Duh.
Technology also tends to glitch a lot. That's why I don't like trust.
Oh,
OEM
yeah.
For ghosts.
And also, it's really easy to put a person in like a green screen suit.
Yeah, and like one thing that I don't know, like granted, right? Things can like appear in the corner of your eye and whatnot.
That is true.
But when you see like real footage, quote unquote real footage, I'm not saying it is real or it isn't, okay.
Mhm.
But when you see like shadows like move, like that's really hard to do in editing. Like you would have to spend like days doing that, just tracking it properly.
Mhm.
And like, so I don't know how you would explain like a shadow moving. You know what I mean? 'Cause those exist.
Some of those are like light bouncing off other things. Like I saw this one documentary where they're like, "Oh, this shadow always appears," and it was like they investigated it, and it was literally cars passing by hitting a can in the window and reflecting on something different. So I would actually have to go there and like scientifically like look at it. I also think cameras have ways of just making shadows appear because of how their light looks. That people have always like, look at this old picture. This sailor, kind of appears faded, and it's like, well, you gotta look at like how cameras work. They tend to do that sometimes, not all the time though.
And then you have other things like EVPs and like ghost boxes, like
Yeah.
that. Those are pretty. I would
Here-
say pretty
here's-
hard to.
Here's my question: If
see that's
both
fake.
you and Kay believe in ghosts, do you guys also believe in like a higher power or like
No.
other like supernatural things other than ghosts? Because
I don't think that
I'm
would.
sure that
I
if you
don't think
believe in
that would
ghosts,
matter.
you must believe in those.
I mean, I have, I think that there's I don't really believe in one. I think that there's potential for there to be one. Like, just given like how big our
I think
universe
there's
is, like,
patterns. I think there's patterns in the universe, but that is about it. Like everything has a
Yeah.
Everything seems to have a really like set pattern, but I just think that's how life works, and that's how we got here is through those patterns.
I mean, I
And-
personally don't really believe in anything like specifically. Like, but I think there's potential for one. I just don't really believe in something.
I would be
solely.
under the thing of there is no one, but there's obviously like just how the universe just works with its patterns and its random stuff, because like
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
I believe that there is a higher power. I just don't believe in ghosts because I don't think that higher power would let ghosts exist. I think that it would
But
like
what?
pull it
Okay,
them right
but
down
what's
or
your
right up.
explanation for that? Like, why wouldn't they let them exist?
Well, because like once you're done on Earth, you're done on Earth. Why do you get extra time? Some don't. That's not fair.
Well, maybe it's like the devil. Maybe he's out there like creating like ghosts to mess around with people.
You ever watch
I mean,
Lucifer?
Like, there are.
I believe there's probably a higher power. But I'm not saying it's.
You need
I
it?
just think that there's
No,
probably something
I
higher.
don't.
Oh,
But
because
thank you.
it makes more logical sense. The chance that the universe just came together the way it did and life formed the way it did, and all these variables are so like
Well,
ridiculously
There's more in
improbable
well,
that it makes
yeah,
more sense for it to be intelligent.
Well, yeah, that's why people seek to that, but it's pretty much like
Which one's that
again
one?
and again. It seems to be like.
But I
oh,
also
there
don't think
is
that
no
he
higher
cares.
Power
power.
Respiration 3.
I think he's just like messing
What?
around, you know, whoever he is.
Power for Respiration 3.
I mean,
okay.
I think it's just all chance. Literally, that's kind of how life seems to be a lot of the time. I mean,
What
I
are
think
those ones?
that's literally just chance, and like things happen, and things can get better, or things can get worse. It all depends on what you put into life and how you like do things. But life seems really about chance.
You're so splendid.
And then.
I need more books.
God, what was I gonna say? I got distracted by killing Enderman in the end
I don't know,
farm.
we can take like science and stuff and explain it down to like the exact T, but if I take a religious person and ask them stuff in the Bible, it's all like, well, I just gotta blindly believe, and that's the, well, any religion, let me just say any religion, and that for me is the point where I'm like, well, you know, I'd rather go with the thing that can explain this down to every detail and is open to being wrong than this thing that's like closed-minded and nope, you can't do this, you can't do that.
I don't think everything's closed-minded though, because personally, like my dad, he's like a Christian, but he's open to a lot of like ideas. Like Christianity technically tells us that like the world was created 10,000 years ago, and my dad's just like, no, that's bullshit. Like realistically, what they meant was like this, like to God, and like he has his own explanations for why these things, and he's willing to like concede on certain issues, you know. But like in the end, he believes that like it's all part of like a God's plan type.
Yeah,
of situation.
I think a lot of people just adapted science to like, oh, well,
I
you
need
know,
to
science
find
is
the-
driven by God and stuff. But like, if I
Give
look
me
at the
11.
old scriptures, which
Okay.
apparently were directly from God during all these times, like, some of this stuff is like explainable. Like Moses's like experience. There's a red bush out there that people can literally go and take out where his location, where we kind of believe where, you know, everything took place out there. There's actually a psychedelic bush out there that was known by that name and has people use it to like have those experiences. So it's not avert to me that Moses may have just been tripping his ass off.
Yeah, which I'd be fine with accepting that, you know.
But I mean, like, yeah, just for like,
dope.
it's just such like it's literally a thing that was invented by people, that was written by people, and that doesn't really hold up in modern times with all the evidence that we have. And I just don't, you know, I'm like, eh. I mean, obviously, I respect people's beliefs, and I'm not gonna like go around saying, haha, where's your God now that the coronavirus is out of
Where's your
control?
God now?
But like, it just doesn't, you know, it just doesn't add up for me.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
nobody. Can you take this for a second? And can you just what enchantments are possible on
I would say like, yeah, I don't know.
on it?
It's just really interesting to think like,
You didn't
are
pick up
there
the-
these things?
Multi-shot, feather falling 2, proj 1. You don't need lapis to see the enchant.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah, I just think like the EMF stuff, like runs off like electromagnetic waves. So like I don't know how it works, but if I researched it and I learned the radio waves it works off of, I bet like radio waves or other things in your house could set it off, like because we have so much technology now. Or other things. I would have to look into how those work.
I mean,
but
I don't know how
they seem
ghost
pretty
boxes
BS
work.
to me.
I don't know how the ghost box works, to be perfectly honest with you, but like I would assume I don't know how those work. So, but they do like get voices out of them, like pretty clear voices, and it's like insane.
Yeah, they get
Is
static.
it possible they're literally just picking up like radio waves of people talking?
Yeah, that's another thing I wonder, because people don't realize like how much our world is covered in satellites and like radio waves and different things and like TVs and stuff, and how all that, like, literally if we were able to see it, like it would cover all your vision. Because there's just so many of them out there. So I wonder, yeah, could it be that? How do we know it's not that? That would be my only question. Where do I put these quartz? Actually, I'm gonna put them in here, because we really don't need flint. Flint is a garbage. 1 second, I'm putting stuff
All
away.
I know is that even if you don't believe in ghosts, once my cat Venus dies, she's gonna be a legendary ghost. She's gonna be the most legendary ghost. She will kill
Damn
everything.
straight.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. Well, the consciousness and that kind of stuff, there's a lot we can't explain. Because, like, we don't really know what consciousness is, or what, you know. We just started exploring it, like, scientifically recently, so there's a whole world out there of yet facts to find. So it's kind of, right now, you know, with science, we kind of have a little tiny idea, and then it's kind of up to a guess to fill in the gaps. But anyway, that's going to be it for today for the podcast. If you guys have any questions, we will be looking at those down in the comments.
Wait.
Of the
One
video.
thing.
Oh.
One thing.
Oh,
One
you got
thing.
one thing.
One thing. Okay.
You got that.
Reset
one
time,
thing.
boys.
Oh.
This is when the reset is happening. When 1.16 comes out. Stop asking.
I
Okay,
totally
done.
forgot
When
about
paper
that.
for 1.16 comes out.
Yeah, you have to add that point too, because we need a stable version of paper.
There you go. That's your answer. Stop asking messages for staff.
It's not
David's
happening.
gonna stop. Yeah,
Anyway,
David's gonna
guys, we will see you guys
Manning.
all here for the people watching the stream and watching the recording. We will see you guys back on Tuesday for the people watching the recording. Wednesday it goes up. Otherwise, guys, in the comments below, let us, you know, ask us a few questions that you guys want us to answer, and we're gonna collect a bunch of questions, and one day we'll answer them. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. That's gonna be all for today. It was a very, very good, entertaining podcast, and now we'll probably continue the conversation off stream.